Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends, and here we are again. We've got lots to talk about. Kieran's insisting we keep it very, very short, so we better get on then. Kieran seems to have lost. You seem to have lost your whole interest in football, but surely, yesterday's game changed that. Didn't that light? I was going to say light the plug, light the spark.
Not quite.
Didn't it? So, put a bit more effort in there, Kieran.
Like the spark, I think the phrase is.
Yeah.
I certainly enjoyed it. I don't know why there is this thing that I don't enjoy football anymore.
No,
it's. Do I care about Port Vale versus Cheltenham as much as some people do? Probably not. That's my kind of lookout on things. And do I care about them as much as the Premier League? No, because Liverpool are dreadful.
Okay. But yesterday's game wasn't dreadful, was it?
No.
I did listen to their manager's conversation, and shall we, if I just sort of mention roughly, sum up what he said, was we know what style of football they play. They are very physical. We're very good at football. They didn't water the pitch, for instance, so that we could play good football.
Good. I assume we did that on purpose.
We did that on purpose. Wasn't that sensible then? I mean, surely you're not going to say, hey, guys, here's your football pitch. There's the goal we want you to shoot and score in. Off you go. No. We set the game up ready. And what was it that you read on Twitter? The Derby fan said, because Derby lost, by the way.
The problem with us starting it like this is that most of the people watching this will probably be Derby fans as opposed to actual Wycombe fans. However, the comment the Derby fan made was, if Russia ever attack us, I hope Putin nukes Wycombe first. I think was the comment.
Loved it. That's what I like.
Rivalry. That's what it is.
That's what I like. Yeah. You hear Alan Shearer talk about Sunderland like that all the time. And so, let's get into the game then. What the flip happened? We've beaten Ipswich, we've beaten Derby. It's bog standard now, isn't it? We wouldn't have any problem in the Championship, would we?
As long as we keep beating these bottom teams as well. No, but we were brilliant yesterday, weren't we? Was trying to think of a player who didn't play well, and couldn't think of one. Obviously, not being pessimistic or anything, but the whole team did their job thoroughly well.
So let's start. Out they come onto the football pitch then, and we're all really excited. What happens next?
Do we score? We score. Unless you're going for a little bit more of a minute timeline.
Well, I was just sort of thinking, who had control? Did anybody have control of that game? I'm not convinced they did, and I don't think we did. And I think it really was down to who scored first, was it?
I mean, obviously, we get slightly lucky in the sense that the deflection goes straight into Vokes' path, but still has enough to do to finish it from there, and he did it very well.
Yeah, it got belted by Hanlon. Hit a player went sliding in front of him, so well blocked. Ball goes up into the air and over his head, and he had to hit it on a volley, didn't he?
Yeah.
Good goal, Vokes. Good goal. Yeah, tap on the back for that one. I don't think many people would have got that in the net. Do you?
Potentially. I don't think it's a brilliantly difficult chance, but it's a good finish at the end of the day. One we'd probably expect him to score considering the level that he's played at previously. Vokes, to be fair, it's the best I've seen him play this season. Obviously, I haven't seen all the games, but it's the best I've seen him play by quite a distance.
Did it help? Do you think it helped there being the formation that was? There were two up front. by the way, everybody. I'm in the wrong place here. Just 1 second.
I don't think he was. I don't think it was quite. There were occasions where it was two up top, but there were certainly occasions where it was 4-2-3-1 with Hannon on the right hand side. Um, but having Hannon in the team and sometimes leaving him up top with Vokes certainly did help him out in terms of not having to be here, there, and everywhere. Um, and he could won a lot of the flick-ons. Derby, not the tallest team in the world, that probably helps with that. Um, and he did actually run a bit more than he normally does, which was good to see because, as much as we know that's not what he's on the pitch to do, it is sometimes frustrating when he doesn't.
The Derby manager did make comments about how they know we play and the long ball up to Vokes.
Mm.
Didn't happen that often, did it? We didn't do that very often, did we? I don't remember
Not,
the ball being belted out to Vokes. And when the goalkeeper kicks it, he seemed to kick it to Wheeler rather than Vokes every time.
yeah, I think it was we barely played, you know, that many long balls in comparison to them. Um, I imagine the stats will tell you that we probably did play more long balls, but not so many that you consider us a long ball team. I remember quite a few occasions us playing the ball on the floor and doing some really nice stuff with it.
Well, I made
And you know,
comments, didn't I, to you occasionally?
yeah,
You
I just
know, sarcastic comments. I told you we're a long ball football team. Well, we
yeah.
played some really nice football.
I mean, it's not quite the same as like Mehmeti dribbling around with it in their half, but it's still not. It's still exciting football, and it's still evidently effective football.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now, what did he do to make changes? Because I also listened to Mr. Manager talk about our Mr. Manager talk about he needed to change things and not do what we normally do. What did he do on that football pitch that was different? Was anything stand out to you to how he played?
Well, how Ainsworth set it
Yeah,
out. Um, Difficult for me to say because I do not watch them week in week out. But other than having Hammond on there, I suppose the fullbacks didn't press high as much. Um, and I suppose that was to kind of help Jacobson and Grimmer out at centre back. Um, other than that, I thought we just kind of we dug in for every ball and we fought for every ball a little bit more than they did. We won a lot of the second balls, um, and we're apparently a bit smarter than they were and a bit more clinical than they were in the final third.
here you go.
Because
It's accurate long balls. Them 35, us 30.
well, there you go.
They played more long balls than we did. I mean, what that means is long balls, them 35, us 30, of which 47% of theirs were successful and of which 38% of ours were, which means they played more long
Yeah,
balls than we did, in fact.
yeah.
So stick that one up there.
Mm, there
Um,
you go.
yeah, I mean, admittedly, they did a lot more of everything as per normal. Not many more passes, I have to say. 3-7-8, and we played 2-9-8. So they weren't. I mean, they didn't have the ball that much more than us. 57% to our 43. I mean,
No,
if
I
you look
mean,
at the stats, there's not a lot of difference between the two. You know,
I imagine the Derby fans is one criticism of our time wasting because we really didn't waste time that much.
no, the
Speaking
ball
to
was out of play a lot. They did. I heard the mention that the ball never seemed in play, and I suppose when you're chasing a game, it never did seem to
Never
be.
feels like it.
Um,
I was talking to my mate today about Debar taking the ball into the corner, actually playing it in, which would have been a lot different had it potentially been one of the players who, would play him in, week out.
mm,
Because obviously he's going on there trying to impress, trying to actually do something to affect the game as opposed to, just take the ball into the corner. But him actually playing the ball in led to our third goal, which proves critical in the end.
yeah,
Um, so there's our lack of time wasting. I suppose the one bit of time wasting that probably was actually quite successful, especially for me in terms of my bet, was the goalkeeper holding on to the ball at the end. That was good.
yes.
I
Please
enjoyed that.
explain to everybody what you had a pound on.
Yeah, I had a pound on Wycombe to win, both teams to score, 4 corners each and 2 bookings each, and won a decent amount of money purely because Stryek held onto the ball at the end, gifting me 3 or 4 yellow cards, which I needed in order to win that. So that was pretty cool.
Very
Enjoyed that
nice
one
of
from
him.
him. Appreciate it, boss.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I was having a look at some point uh, during the week about how many goals we've scored from set pieces.
Mm,
It's minute this year. Normally we've relied on them, haven't we?
mm,
Corners, free kicks, and we scored from a corner actually, and it was one that they had a go at on the training pitch the day before they came up with that one. They say,
mm.
I'm sure I've seen him do it before, um, where taken short, crossed to outside the 18-yard box, waiting to be smashed in. I wouldn't call it smashed in though. In this case, he
No, he was
made
definitely.
sure it went the right place rather than just belt it.
Well, he got deflected, didn't there? Which we didn't notice at the time.
It did, and one of their comments was a complaint. Oh, they can only score deflected goals or something like that. And I'm thinking, who cares? Well, what the goal? I didn't think their first one was sort of just pure talent. Did you?
Uh, Having watched it back, actually, it's not the best defending from us, particularly,
No,
is it?
but I don't think
Um,
any goals ever are. I mean,
no,
if somebody scores, rarely is it down to the goal scorer being brilliant.
mm.
Normally, it's down to the defence being bad. I mean, out
Or
of those 5
not doing their job
goals,
properly, anyway.
yeah, if the defence do their job 100%, that ball does not go in the net.
No,
And so, yeah, of course you can blame the defence for any goals that go in, them and us. That doesn't make our goals mean any less. They hadn't lost for an awful long game. 16,
yeah,
16
16.
games. Not bad to beat them then, is it?
No,
And
take it every day of the week.
I wonder if that'll sort of take the wheels off. They're hoping like mad they won't. The way they've gone on about it. And as Ainsworth said, I think they're going to come second. I think Sheffield Wednesday and Derby will be. I say that. Who knows? Who knows? I think
No,
you got the. I think you got those three really.
I don't know.
You got Plymouth,
Derby is still
Sheffield
quite.
Wednesday, and Derby.
Derby is still quite a way off being in the top two.
Yeah,
There's still quite a number of points behind. I wouldn't say it's set in stone yet.
no, it's a lot of decent teams in this league, aren't there?
Yeah,
Okay, is also the other thing he did was a beta man marked one of their players.
Mentes Lang.
Yes, I thought he looked really good. I have to be honest. I thought he was really good. So you got Mendes, Lang, and McGoldrick,
Mm.
both excellent. weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, felt like McGoldrick could have done a bit more than he did. I know he sets up the first goal for them,
And the
but
second,
well, barely. He just passed the ball to the bloke who put it in top corner. But would have. I don't think he had too many shots, and I feel like if he had done, then we would have been in trouble a little bit more. Um, Seeing as he was, a championship top scorer and Premier League player not long ago. I don't know how he's dropped down to League One so quickly, but there you go. And he also had the other striker Collins, who was seemed to be pretty angry from the first minute.
yeah, I wasn't impressed
I
with him.
I don't think he likes us too much, evidently.
No, no, wasn't impressed with him at all.
No,
Uh,
he didn't do a lot.
he, yeah, it got something wrong with him, hadn't he? Somebody had done something um, to upset him. He didn't seem at all a happy bunny on that football pitch. I was amazed that, I mean, he got booked, but we didn't manage to get him sent off. I would have thought that was definitely one worthy effort. I think we could have got him sent off. Um, it's daft. I don't understand what that was about. They did tend to not take shots, didn't they?
Mm.
When they got the opportunity, they didn't take them. When I think of how many saves our goalkeeper made, he didn't. But how many dangerous situations? There were quite a few, but never did they turn into.
Well, they made the wrong decision, didn't they,
Yeah,
by passing it out wide when they probably shouldn't have done.
yeah. I think they should have had a few more goes. I think some might have gone in.
Mm.
So I thought they definitely had an off day. And Wycombe played really well. It was a great game to be at, wasn't it? You picked a good weekend to come home for that one.
Indeed, indeed.
Obita man marking the guy as well, I thought was interesting. I haven't seen Wycombe try that one before. And also worth mentioning with Grimmer again, wasn't he good?
Yeah, probably man of the match, wasn't he? I mean, you could have given it to an awful lot of people. Even Jacobson at the back was very good. I have
Yeah,
no idea who was probably leading the back line, but whoever it was did a ridiculously good job.
I mean, that back line of McCarthy, Grimmer, Jacobson, and Obita, bit strange. And he obviously, why would he pick that back four when he did have centre backs sat on the bench?
Yeah, it was
Why would he
weird
pick that?
because he had the Willis guy that we signed just prior to the game. Apparently, he'd been training with us for about 2 weeks.
That's right. And
So,
he played in a game, hadn't he?
so it is
Behind
interesting as to
closed
why
doors.
why he did that. I mean, he evidently did it for a reason. The reason evidently worked. I mean, Jacobson has played at centre back before, so has Grimmer.
He's got
Um,
Farino Joseph on the bench as well.
yeah.
So,
So, yeah, you do wonder. Um,
I,
but we can't complain if the Black
I,
Force going to play like that, though.
I was going to say, in this situation, he didn't need the centre backs for their height, did he?
No.
They weren't on there to head the ball away, which is quite often something you need the height in for to defend with at centre
Mm.
back. He didn't need that, did he? So
No.
what? I wonder what Jacobson and Grimmer offered that the centre backs couldn't. I mean, I bit bland comment. Are they better at football
I mean, yes,
rather than just belting it out and stopping it going in? Was it
in
more of
that
a case
sense,
of getting the ball not out, but the ball to?
in the sense of that, yes, Jacobson and Grimmer are better. But then you would, I mean, considering the centre backs we played over the years, you would have thought um, Ainsworth would have been more than happy just to play a centre back who would be a little bit more solid. But even if we had a different centre back, I don't think it would have. They would have probably stopped the 2 goals that did go in.
No,
Maybe if the left centre back could have stopped the cross for the first one, but I kind of doubt it. Um, so, I mean, he got the decision right to play those 4.
yeah,
Why he made the decisions, we don't really know, do we?
no. But the thing is that with them only having 57% of possession, you would have expected Derby versus Wycombe. If you'd guessed beforehand how much possession you would expect Derby to have, it would have been higher than that. And I wonder whether those two playing as centre backs or as good in midfield, even behind Scowen, I wonder whether that was what it was for, to play the ball out to feet
Yeah,
rather than pelt it or head it.
which we did do numerous times, so potentially.
Interesting. Okay, a very, very, very fast look then at the other scores. Although Kieran not interested at all in this, but we'll just take a Burton got one over Exeter. That's a bit of a surprise there, I have to be honest. The other ones that stand out just briefly was the Ipswich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Sheffield Wednesday would probably be the happier. That was at Ipswich, and it was almost like taking the points off of Ipswich again for Sheffield Wednesday. So I think they'd be happy. Sheffield Wednesday would be happy with the 2-2, especially now. I'm trying to think. Let me just take a quick look. Well, depends what you mean by that, because Sheffield Wednesday were 2-0 up. And then it ended up 2-2. So in some ways, I bet Ipswich are pretty happy as well that they managed to claw that one back. Others worth noting is ever since we played Bristol Rovers, they seem to be having a bit of a nightmare. They lost again to this time to Lincoln. And if you remember when we played them, they lost after against Exeter. They won the next 2, but then they've lost the last 5 matches now. So, and Ryan Loft got sent off, I might add. But yeah, so Bristol Rovers are having a bit of a. I mean, they were right next to us when we played them. If you look at them now, they've right down, they've dropped. Then there's a couple of draws in there. MK Dons and Oxford 1-1. I would think Oxford are more pleased. They've stopped the rot. 1 point isn't going to do them too many favours, but it's better than losing. Their manager is still there. Morecambe and Forest Green a point each. Useless to either of them. Neither of them wanted that score. And Bolton 5 away at Peterborough. Now that's an important one to us because of the table. Peterborough, well, Bolton are in 4th place, and Peterborough were on the same amount of points as us before kickoff. So they've obviously dropped. And so Shrewsbury are really the team behind us, and Barnsley the team above us. So they're the ones to keep an eye out now. And Barnsley won, and Shrewsbury, I think Shrewsbury seem to be doing okay. They've certainly won the last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've won the last 6 matches, which was funny because they lost the previous 4. Seemed to come in batches. Lost 2, won 3, lost 4, won 5. So now we hope it's lost 6 to be the next something like that. Okay, moving on. Just thinking we're not going to last for very long. So we're not doing all your Wycombe players and all that. I was going to do I've got a couple of things I want to speak about, but I will explain what's happening to Manchester City and all the rules and regulations and what they've broken and what they haven't. I have read it all up. I've read the FA manual and everything else on the rule books of what's going on. But I'm not going to go through that this week, other than to say, don't believe a word that Pep Guardiola says when he says they proved us innocent. I do want to clear this one up. On Friday, he came out with a very long speech about how he loves playing for them, and he wouldn't sort of, if he thought they possibly broke any rules. Can I just say they got a fine for hiding information and not cooperating? UEFA fined them for that. They broke that rule, they broke that law, and they got fined. As for the other rules that they UEFA tried to do them for and failed, they failed because it was all to do with sponsorship money, etc., and they were fiddling the books. So UEFA said that they were hiding where money came from. They were hiding where money went to. They were fiddling the books, is what UEFA said. And the reason it never went to them getting done and for it was simply they run out of time. In UEFA's rules, they have 5 years. They can only do them for the previous 5 years. And that 5 years, by the time Manchester City slowed giving them any information that they asked for, it meant the 5 years was up. They were looking back at their stuff and they run out. And in the end, they just did them and said, "Oh, right, we've got to hurry, hurry, hurry." And then said, "Right, you're not going to be allowed to play in Europe for 2 years." And of course, when it got checked, they couldn't because 5 years was up. But what the Premier League has in its books is it doesn't have that 5-year clause. The Premier League is going to be able to check it all out, going back as far as they like. And in fact, they're going to be going back 9 years to, was it Mancini, the manager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the Premier League reckon was getting paid by somebody else, which was one of the ways they fiddled the books. They reckon they were, I'll get all the right figures. It's something like about 200 million. I mean, this sort of seems to have gone amiss. But I think the Premier League are going to win this battle, and it's going to take about a year, and I'll explain why next week. They're the basic details. Let's get on to our football scores then, Kieran.
Okay.
Yeah. So if everybody's keeping up with us, are we ready then? We start with the Manchester United Leeds first game that went. Let me just find it. When was that, Kieran? That Wednesday, wasn't it? It was. Okay.
It was 2-2.
2-2. Anything to say about that? We got 10 minutes.
Shame Leeds didn't hold on to win it, to be honest with you. They were 2-0 up, probably should have done. But they didn't have a manager, so that's a bit of a shame.
You put 3-1, I put 2-0. No points there for either of us then.
Shock.
Yesterday, we start with West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. You put 2-1, and I put 1-0 to Chelsea. So you had 2-1 West Ham. I won it. So no points there. But please, I'm sure you got something to say about yesterday's.
I did actually watch that with a mate of mine. Felix looked good. But he was the one who cost them nothing. The rest of the 600 million, I didn't know where that was.
Didn't see it on the football pitch.
No.
Didn't seem to be.
They didn't shine. No. West Ham looked okay.
And what a great save.
Yes. VAR did well this weekend, let's say that.
That was a shocker, wasn't it? I saw that one. What a shocker. And the guy I love he said in the interview, his dad was a goalkeeper, so he knew how to save it.
Good. Certainly.
Brilliant. What a brilliant line. He was serious. He was serious. My dad was a goalkeeper. I know how to get down quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. You put 3-0 to Arsenal. I put 2-0 to Arsenal. Still, we got no points. Another VAR cock up. And the Brentford goal should not have stood.
No. No, they took too long on the first one. I don't think the first one was offside, but the second one definitely is. How you missed that, I don't really know. Surely there are people in the VAR setup being like, oh, isn't that offside, that second one? Oh, yeah. Ain't got to make a decision about that one because he actually kicked the ball. But there you go.
So, Arsenal, off the rails?
Yeah, they'll lose to City next week.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's during the week, isn't it? Okay. Next one. Palace 1, Brighton 1. You put 1-2, and I put 1-1.
Goodness sake.
Come in with 3 points. Anything to say? Please say what you want.
Wasn't there a VAR decision in that as well? I didn't actually see that one, but I think Brighton got stuffed with VAR as well.
Did they?
Don't know what it was for. If they did, I'm a bit gutted about that.
Right.
But there you go.
Fulham 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Very unlucky. Nottingham Forest had 2 centre backs with the same injury taken off at the same time right at the beginning. Yeah. You put 4-0, so you get a point.
Good.
I put 2-2, so I don't get a point.
Lovely. Willian looks very good at Fulham. He evidently just wants to stay in London and just was like, oh, I'll play football for them. That'll do.
Yeah.
Because like Fulham are going to pressure him in terms of like training and this and that because they know how good he is. Whereas if he was at Chelsea, then he'd have to work day in, day out to kind of get in the first team. And he evidently doesn't really mind. So, yeah, fair enough to him.
Just got to mention this. On February the 9th in 1979, we had Trevor Francis was the first £1 million player. Okay. Now, if prices of everything had gone up the same as footballers' money, a colour TV, would cost you £28,000. And a can of Coke would cost you 14 quid. So there you go. I just thought I'd mention that.
Wow.
Leicester 4, Tottenham 1. You put 2-2. I put 2-0 to Leicester. I get a point.
Good. Yeah, Spurs beating City last week and then deciding not to turn up this week. Having a back three of Dyer, Davis, and Tanganga, despite all the money they've spent, is pretty shocking. Richarlison still hasn't scored a league goal this season, by the way.
Shame. I like him.
I was going to say.
Personally, horrible. Right. Southampton 1, Wolves 2. You put 0-1, I put 0-0, so you get a point.
Hey.
So, Mr. I bite my nails down till they bleed has left.
Oh, no. I loved Nathan Jones. He really came out with some cracking comments about why he's the best and why it's not his fault.
He makes more stupid comments than the foreign managers do who can't speak English.
I wouldn't word it like that, but yeah, sure.
Well, some of them muffled. They don't know what words they're saying.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When they're trying to describe something, they don't have the vocabulary.
Whereas he gets it all.
That we have. That's right.
I see what you mean.
where are we going? Oh, yeah. Next one was Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Didn't see that
Surprise.
coming.
No.
You put 0-2 and I put 1-0. So I did put Bournemouth to win, but
Did you?
so
Oh, there you go.
no points each again there.
No. Newcastle signs a drop off a little bit as well, which is unsurprising considering their team. Yeah, they'll be fine. But Bournemouth won't be. They'll still get relegated.
Today, Leeds 0, Manchester United 2. You put 1-3 and I put 0-1. So we both get a point.
Rashford scored too many at this point. It's not good, is it?
It's not good. Not good for anybody. No. What's happened to him?
I don't know.
I don't mean got better. I mean got angry. He's got a bit.
He's got a bit feisty, hasn't he?
He's got cocky.
No, I don't.
He used to be Mr. Easy Pushover, drippy. He used to be drippy.
But then,
and now he's sort of ready to thump you.
But is that a good thing?
I don't know. I mean,
because surely
he don't get pushed off the ball, but he
because
just
I would have thought
very.
I'd argue that's the same kind of category as Ronaldo would be in the sense of being cocky and being like, "I'm better than you," which, if that works for him, I mean, he's sort of 13 and 15, which I mean, we talk about best player in the world kind of forms. So
he's doing good.
Yeah, fair play to him.
And you were very unlucky.
I don't like him, but fair play to him.
No, and you were very unlucky with the last one because Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 1, you put 3-0. So you only get a point, and I put for Aston Villa to win 1-0. So I don't get any points. So if we to add that up, I
think I won
4 points to add to your 2. So now you're on 6. And I got 5 points because
you're your 3, right, didn't you?
To add to my 6. So I'm on 11. 6-11.
Right. It's because you've got 2 scores right. I haven't got any yet.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay. At this point, before we go, we've got less than a minute. I'll just quickly. He said the music is by a band called Kin. They're a 3-piece progressive metal band hailing from the mysterious realms of West Yorkshire. We regale our tales through choppy riffs, atmospheric sounds, and fantastical lyrics. Join us on our journey, uncovering ancient tombs and reciting forbidden lore with the first volume to be released. And so it's out, and I bought it last week. And it's called When a Star Falls. The name is Kim, as in K-N-I-M. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that, whether it's Nim or Knim or Kim. Either way, it'd be written underneath. There'll be 2 tracks you'll hear, or 3. Okay, we'll move on from here, Kieran, and just go through the other games coming up this week. Okay? Tomorrow night, we've got Liverpool-Everton. Anything you want to say about that other than...
Sean Dyche masterclass incoming. Have we already done our predictions for that one?
No.
Is it?
Well, I'll go first. You're going 1-1.
Yeah. We'll concede in the first 10 minutes as well for getting points for that.
Sorry, but I'm going 2-0 to Everton.
Gosh.
I know. The next game is on Wednesday, and that is Arsenal-Manchester City. I might go to the pub for... I've just booked going to a pub. I wonder if it's got a TV screen. Anyway, off we go then. Arsenal versus Manchester City.
I do think City will win. I see. I'm a weird football fan because everyone says they want City to lose and they want Arsenal to win the league. But the thing is, if Arsenal win the league and they've won as many leagues as Liverpool have in the last 15 years or so, even though Arsenal's team was nowhere near as good as the Liverpool team in the last 5 years, I prefer City to win it because it doesn't matter if they win it. Either City win the league or Liverpool win the league. I'm a stupid football fan like that. Um,
I don't know what you're on about, but it
so
doesn't matter.
so if Arsenal win the league, I care. But if City win it, then I don't care.
I will see.
Do you know what
Okay.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like it
Oh,
means something if Arsenal win it. Um, so I want City to win, and I think City will win this game 2-1.
well, funny you should say that because I'm going for a 1-1 draw. And I think that 1-1 draw will suit Arsenal down to the ground
Yeah.
because it means no further away. Okay. And then the next games are on Saturday. Just to mention that Wycombe will be at home again to Bolton, as we've said. Other interesting ones: Sheffield Wednesday at home with MK Dons. Um, Not a lot really going on in there. None of them really sort of grabbed me, those games. But anyway, Aston Villa, Arsenal is on then
Um,
Saturday.
Arsenal will win 3-1.
Well, I won't give the same score as you, but Arsenal will win and Aston Villa will score. So I'm putting 2-1 to Arsenal. Brentford Crystal Palace.
Brentford look good. Palace have been a bit shaky this season. 3-1 Brentford.
Okay, I'm going to go 1-0 Crystal Palace.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think things. I think Crystal Palace have sort themselves out. Brighton, Fulham.
That should be a good game.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so.
2-2.
2-0 Fulham, and I think Brighton will have more chances. It's, trust Chelsea to end up getting Southampton next. Chelsea, Southampton, and we all
They
knows
have
what
to win.
happens with managers when they've just. So what
No,
happens to Chelsea playing Southampton?
they have to win that. 3-0 Chelsea.
Really?
I think Southampton are that bad.
Yeah, so do I. I'll put 2-0. I can't. So Southampton have got to go. Everton Leeds. See, that'll be a good game as well,
Mm.
I think.
Uh, 1-0 Everton.
1-1. It's only my second draw I've put in there. Nottingham Forest, Manchester City.
That should be easy for City, shouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I've got my score. I know what I'm going for, whatever you say, even if it's the same.
2-0 City.
I'm going 4-0 City.
Mm.
Wolves, Bournemouth. There's a game to miss.
Wolves look alright now. Um, 2-0 Wolves.
And I'm going 2-1 Wolves. And then the next fun game for Liverpool is Newcastle, Liverpool.
Oh, that could be awful. 3-1 Newcastle. I can't back him on that one. We could get whacked.
I'm going 2-0 Newcastle. So, and then to finish off, guys, we've got the 2 games on the Sunday, which is Manchester United, Leicester. Who knows?
2-1. 2-1 United.
And I'm going 1-2 to Leicester.
Wow.
I know.
That's big.
And Tottenham, West Ham. Who knows? Again, that game is definitely one to go and watch, I think. Tottenham, West Ham.
Tottenham just crap, aren't they?
Yeah, but West Ham aren't exactly flying, are
No. 2-1 West Ham.
they? Really?
Yeah.
And I'm doing it the other way, 2-1 to Tottenham. So, there we go. And that will be it. So, I'll explain to everybody what the new Super League that's come out is about. I'll also explain exactly what City are getting done for and how. And that's only a 5-minute thing, so don't panic, everybody. It's really not that boring. And also, we will have a few more Wycombe players left to take a look at. And of course, we'll have how we stuff Bolt to discuss as well. And what a remarkable comeback by Liverpool. Yeah. Two lots of hat-tricks for our friend up front. Yeah, 2 hat-tricks on the trot. How about that? Okay, Kieran, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And I'll be saying goodbye. Goodbye.